Now I'm gonna look for me here. This is big too. Why is it so big? Live. Kind of addicted to filters that are really fast. Oh my gosh, really? Because I was going to include and everyone else, and this is a giveaway. I did finally. Where am I live? I'm trying to look for me on live. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted and doing everything else. But anyway, I had the craziest dream a couple of nights ago. Um, oh, and I don't even see it myself. Hello? What the? Hello. Why am I not visible? For everyone joining, hi. Join us. I suppose. Oh, here I am. So now it's there. And everyone that is joining from Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. Let me do this called what? Share screen. Share screen with TikTok. Yes. Share. And it only took about 100,000 years. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, I had the craziest dream. I see people join and fell off, but back on. Thank you so much for joining. And my dream was a couple of nights ago. It wasn't last night. It was maybe 2 nights ago. And where is it? And it was kind of like, and which is weird because my dream was a couple of nights ago, but then it was also you know how you have a weird dream and then in real life it kind of like, what the hell, really? I kind of dreamt like that. So I don't know if they called it premonition, but it wasn't I guess it was a premonition, which I don't know. I guess some of you guys probably have them all the time. I don't really. So wow, I guess so I don't really have them that much or much at all, really. With that said, I had a dream. I don't know, a couple of yeah, it was because it was Thursday, so it must have been like Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I had this weird dream, and then the correlation between what happened in real life is kind of like super crazy. Couple pops. With that said, hello everyone from Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Thumbs up, like, share, follow, subscribe, and let me make sure. Where did my other thing go? Here it is. I want to make sure everything is up. And if you guys are around, join me tomorrow. Well, I co-host. What did I just talk about? I co-host a virtual karaoke listening party um, from 9 to 11 on Sunday. I mean, no, I'm sorry, Saturday, and then join where you could like music listening, karaoke, all types of fun. You can even do it live if you want to join via Zoom. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then our church is Sunday Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 a.m. I'm just trying to get this one, but of course it's distracting and not doing it. So really, with that said, okay, so I had to try to get my video up here. I'm so sorry that I'm like doing this and because I want to make sure that is everything is going good before to make sure. Oh, and I'm glad I just did that because now I can see that they're not looking at the whole video. So I'm glad I just did that. See, that's a good thing to check on with this. Where are you? I and please support this. And why is not showing? Oh my gosh. Things are just giving me such a hard time today. I super apologize for the technical difficulty. I don't even know what's going on. So please forgive me, guys. Yeah, so forgive me with that. With that said, let me go back over here. I don't know. That's me. Anyway, why is it not? I'm sorry. It's giving me hello. Oh, hello, Miss Shanice. Oh, and congrats for getting your the flowers you got. You know what? I don't. Anyway, with that said, I don't know what's up with live appears featured discussions on topics unrelated to the product. Oh, I don't even know what product I was promoting today. Let me fix that because I don't want to get any whatever support. Content campaigns, products. You- Oh my gosh. So AI support. Okay, I have a product I'm supporting. Shopping ranking there. I'm sorry, I don't even know what the product I support. When I click something, so please, TikTok shop. Okay, so you have the product, but please definitely check it out because you know what? I don't even see the product I'm supposed to be supporting, and it says I'm not doing a good job. View product. Okay, let me see. Okay, so yeah, please check out the 4-in-1 100-watt colorful lights data cable support, fast charging and everything. I'm definitely going to check. I'm going to get one of these myself because I guess it's a lightning cable and it blinks. So definitely check it out. You know, I don't know if this thing can still hear me. But anyway, with that said, while I wait, I apologize for people on Facebook and LinkedIn and everything else because it's somehow likes to freeze certain pages. With that said, here's my dream, the crazy dream I had. So Wednesday night, Thursday morning, whatever, I was dreaming. I first I had my crazy weird dream. I was initially I wrote notes, so I'm reading these notes just so I can remember. Because if you don't write the notes, you'll forget the dream that fast. And I was initially I forgot whatever, but initially I was at a grocery store. I don't know what store it was. It wasn't like no cheap hood rat mart. So maybe it was like when I want to be like fake me out Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or whatever. And I think they had a sampling section, the meat section or whatever. And I was in the grocery store by myself shopping. And there were some families, there were kids, and for some reason the kids were all like coming around smiling at me. I guess we were all in line to get some meat or fish or sample some food, whatever it was. We were all in the line queue to get some a product like produce or sample. And the kids were all smiling at me and saying hi to me, whatever, like and noticing me. So I'm like saying hi back to them because I'm like, okay, hello, hi, whoever. I don't know. And I wasn't sure, but it was a couple of different families. They had kids in the dream. The kids are all like looking at me like, oh, hi, and smiling at me like, they recognize me or something along those lines. I got a flash go starting now and check out the thingy. So yeah, it wants me to promote the cable. So I don't want to get a. So I mean the cable lightning thing. Then hopefully sponsored. With that said, so anyway, so I was initially in line to get stuff at the checkout where the kids were smiling, and then left there and went to a huge. And, um, and then I was eating something. The kids were all friendly to me, like I was a PBS kid Muppet or something. I don't know. And then when I left the grocery store with my bags, um, at the checkout count, the parking lot was like under construction. It was like they were, you could park there, but like half the pavement was like they were paving it, which is crazy. If you're really in paving in a real life, you're not going to let people park there and walk all over the place. But yet, and then in the dream, you could park your cars around the construction areas. Okay, whatever that was about. So I was parking there, and then when I left the construction area, I left there, and somehow I ended up at a very huge, diverse church. It was like a black priest. I don't know if he was African, West African. I don't know. Maybe it was like Nigeria. I don't know what country the preacher was from. He was like a black preacher. maybe from somewhere, I don't know. And then all the members were like of all race, which I was very impressed by. I don't know if I was a member. I don't think I was a member. I think I was visiting in their dream, and I was impressed by how diverse it is. Because it's really good. Like a lot of churches aren't that diverse. I mean, so when you see a church that is diverse, it's really a good thing, right? So the church was very diverse, and oh yeah, and which I thought was really cool about that. Let me see if anyone's posted anything. And it was very diverse. Thank you, Shamizi, for liking the live. For everyone else who liked it. Um, Sorry for like getting distracted. And it was like people of all races and other countries and everything there. And I think at the beginning it was kind of like like a big church, like a mega church wannabe. But then, and that part of the building was new, like what a church part was. But then they had like I guess a school area, which was much older. And of course, every time I go to like a school area, it's either a copy of my elementary school and my high school, which whatever that's about. And so when we left the church or during after church, I guess it was fellowship, and then you went to. I ended up in like some group of people for prayer. I don't. And the service was normal. I want to put like it was a normal service with lots of music and everything. And then after that, we had like fellowship, and then we had went to I guess prayer group. I have no idea. And the prayer group was much smaller. Of course, it was like in a room, and it was still diverse though, which is really cool. It was a very diverse prayer group, and we were praying and doing whatever. And then everyone forgot the benediction, which is like, for the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I still forgot it. Anyway, because I'm on the spot. Anyway, so we all forgot the benediction, which was kind of like, oh my gosh, even the leaders in there, the leaders of the prayer group was like Nigerian or West Africa, the Ghana or Nigeria somewhere. Um, but they still forgot. I guess they were like the host of that prayer group was like two people from Nigeria, and they forgot it, and then everyone else forgot it too. And I was like, oh my gosh, we all forgot it, and we couldn't seemingly end the prayer group without doing the benediction, which everyone forgot. And then somehow uh, I remembered it. I guess something triggered my memory, and when I remembered it, everyone joined saying it, but. And then as we were saying it, all the cameras kind of came on me like it was an interview, you know, we're like, oh wow, how did you remember the benediction? They was like recording me like a TV interview, which was really weird. That was weird, silly word. When we all left there, I left there, and then these kids were having a fundraiser. I guess they're like elementary school age, having a fundraiser of selling cakes. And they were selling, I guess, slices of cake. The high cake was going on, and the kids were like, you could tell the kids icing the cake. The cake was all kind of like, whatever the person did, and themselves, because you could see it wasn't perfect, and they were selling slices, and it wasn't that hygienic. But they were selling everything for $4. So I was like, okay, I'll buy a slice to support your fundraiser, but I don't have cash. I only have a card. And of course, the kids, no one seemed to have a card reader. I don't know why, but a dad or an adult male, I don't know, I mean, one of the kids' dads, I'm assuming, said he had like one of them square.com things where you could slide, pay for it, but it had to go to the card. So I took like what I guess the kids carried the cake, and I had the card in my hand, and the dad was walking out. We were all walking back to the grocery store parking lot, which was under construction, so he could get the card reader for me to pay the $4 for the cake. And so while me, him, and I guess the son carrying the cake was walking, and we crossed the street and we entered back into the parking lot. And that's when everything went haywire in the dream. Um, so let me see if I forgot anything. Um, we parked in the so and when we got to the parking lot, he was, went to his car to get the scan. I was parked somewhere else, and I guess he scanned it, and he walked somewhere, and I was trying to follow him. I was like, "Hey, you got my card? What's going on?" And as he was scanning it, before that, as he was scanning it, a bus, like a city bus, a local bus, literally jumped the curb to get onto the construction parking lot to pick people up. Now I don't know. Again, this is chaos. Why would you jump a curb into the parking lot to pick people up? That's what he did. He jumped the curb to get to the parking lot to pick people up, and people got in on the bus and everything. And then and after he got on the after they jumped the curb to get on the bus, he there was a and I the man basically took the card my card. I'm like, hey, I need my card back, and they're like, here's the cake. I'm like, yeah, I need my card. So I literally followed the man and his son because he took my card with the card reader, even though they handed me the cake or something. And as I was following him through the parking lot, the bus that jumped the curb was still there. There was another bus coming the other direction. And so like literally all four directions, the buses come this way, that way, this way, and like all four directions. The buses were all coming at once, which is crazy. And they kind of like blocked me in and I couldn't follow the man with my card, which is money basically. And the buses blocked me in, and I couldn't leave. And then and then the bus that jumped the curb was about to leave. So basically, they was going to squish me, which is like, what the heck? Why are all these buses about to squish me in? And somehow I levitated. Um, on the screen, a voice static. Well, my images aren't static. Okay, look, it says my images are static. With that said, yeah, here's my sister monkey now. Here I am back here. So I guess I'm not that active. Also, don't forget to check out the 4-in-1 100-watt colorful lights data cable supports fast charging and data transmission. So I guess it's like a lightning thing. What the- So there you go. Okay, with that said, as I was saying, so literally the buses blocked me in, as I keep going. And the father left with my card and his card reader and his son, and I couldn't follow him because the bus literally blocked me in. And then the one of them was driving, and I was about to get squished. So I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So somehow I levitated and flew up into a tree or something. I, I levitated and flew into a tree. Like, what the heck is that about? Why am I gonna fly? And I levitated, flew, or jumped from where the bus literally blocked me in. It was about to squish me in, and I leaped into a tree, I guess, in the parking lot to protect myself, which is obviously not natural. Because how the hell are you gonna jump from the ground into a tree? Yeah, right. That's funny. And then when I floated up towards a tree and ended up, I floated up and I was in the tree as the bus was about to squish me and drive over top of me and literally having accidents on themselves. I ended up teleporting from the tree to a room. Okay, how did that happen? And I ended up in the room with the local bus, like the city bus runners, CDTA, Capital District Transportation Authority. So that's who was the people in my dream. But I guess it was the local buses that was squished. However, the buses that were squished were like yellow buses. Their colors were like they weren't yellow school buses, but the colors weren't like the local buses up here. They were like yeah, I don't know what buses are yellow and I'm thinking colors of school bus, but they were far from school buses. They were like actual city metro buses. But I don't know. I'm gonna check. I don't know what buses are yellow. But there's a bus. The one in my dream was like yellow and white or whatever. If I could think of it, I'll put a picture up somewhere. But I don't. Whatever. But I levitated and floated into a tree. And then once I got into the tree and the bus and realized they couldn't squish me, I teleported into a room with a bunch of the bus CDTA, local bus management, and dispatchers asking what happened and if I remember what was going on, which is crazy because I'm like, first off, how did I go from a parking lot under construction and a grocery store where I was about to get squished by a bus and I floated up to it? How did I float up to a tree? Number one, and thank God I did. And number two, how did I teleport to an office somewhere, somehow, someone out where I don't know. And then there is the bus public transportation manager and dispatchers were all in a room, kind of like interviewing me or grilling me, like or not grilling or interviewing, trying to figure out like interrogating me and not interrogating because it wasn't interrogating and it wasn't a grilling. It wasn't, but they were all like, okay, what's going on? How did that happen? Go through the steps from A, B, C, and D. What happened? What happened next? So the bus did this. This happened. What happened? So they asked me like questions, and then like, oh my gosh, what did she do? Like, oh, like prom. And I'm like, I'm the one that almost got squished. They were like doing like palm faces in my dream, and like oh my God, this girl here, and what did you do next? What happened? And they would ask me all these questions, but I didn't remember. I didn't, and again, I didn't remember. I didn't know what was going on. I remember trying to get a piece of, support a fundraiser. The man left with my card. The bus basically fat me about to squish me, and I floated up and jumped into a tree, and now I'm here. And there was a big blank. It was a big blank memory loss. I have lapse in memory. I don't know what happened between then and now. I don't know how it happened. It was just a teleportation of time and space from a tree in a parking lot and a shopping center to a room with bus, um, um, city bus management and city bus dispatchers asking me what happened and if I remember anything. And of course, I didn't remember anything. And then there was a heavy set black dude um, who basically what happened. And they was like, no, don't tell, don't bother, don't tell it. And somebody's like, don't tell her. Like, we don't want to stress her out if she doesn't know. I'm like, well, if she don't know what happened, don't tell her. And he was like, well, you started in New York and you ended up over here on the steps or in a tree somewhere. So I don't know. They told him not to tell me. And but he somehow told me that there was an accident or something and you survived, but you ended up on the steps of the hospital and you had this broken, that broken. I don't know, something. I don't know. I don't remember. But they were like telling him, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. Kind of like, power spoken word. If you speak it, it will mess up. Don't speak it and don't say nothing. So I was like, yeah, okay, thank you. And I don't know how it ended. That's kind of how it ended. But I ended up in a parking lot getting squished by buses after due to my credit card and money, which is bad. And then I floated up to meet the tragedy, or God teleported me from there to this local metro bus management dispatchers and supervisors. Asked me what happened, and I didn't remember or knew what happened. And so that was in my dream, and that was after I left the grocery store and went to a very diverse church. So yeah, that was my weird dream. Now how that played into reality, which is kind of weird. When I woke up and realized that dream, I was like, oh, I rebuke that. I plead the blood of Christ, Jesus, to protect me in my travels, and I don't want no weird, funny business. Jesus, please protect me, and that's it. And I didn't really properly pray anything, which is bad. I just asked him to protect me, and I tried his blood protection and called it a day, which is bad. That's very shiftless. That's very slacking and everything else. With that said, I that's what I did, and then I prayed for it. And then my rides came. I had a couple of appointments. And so the paratransit, my ride came, the van came, it was a regular van, it wasn't a bus. And I jumped in, he parted us at our road, and he safely got me from my place to our group, which is where I recorded my other live yesterday, Wednesday, of me walking around and talking to the homeless guy and inviting the homeless guy to the group and so forth. So that was all safe and well and good. He was a normal driver. Then my ride from group to my physical therapy appointment to pay a bill was a medical transportation company. And I use the same one all the time. I mean, they sent this one lady who was literally 30 minutes late. First off, she was literally 30 minutes late to get me, but she let me sit in the front seat, and that was just a regular SUV as well. And I got in a car with her after she finally showed up. It was pure rush hour traffic, and we drove from my group. When we were driving, and she was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot to start the trip." Because she had to push a button to start the trip to get paid and get credit. So she said, "Oh, I have to make a U-turn and go back around and start the trip." Thank you um, for joining everyone. And and so she was like, "Oh yeah, please everyone share, follow, invite others to join and help me achieve my first goal, and I'll sing a song from the Wiz." And my first goal, my flash goal. Anyway, so basically, she made it. We turned into like a little, I think, like a side street. She had to make a U-turn to go back to start the trip and push this button. And so we turned right onto a side street, and we were driving down the side street. And then we had to go through like a parking lot to go back to the road to make a left turn because we couldn't make it. At first, she was going to stupidly make a U-turn. I said, "You can't make a U-turn in the middle of the road." We were in the right lane in traffic. There was the left lane, two lanes going this way, and it was full of traffic. But there was two lanes coming the other way, and we were stopping, but she was going to make a U-turn in front of this car. She was going to make a U-turn in front of the car, that was stopped there. I'm like, why don't no turn into this little convenience store here, make a right and go make a U-turn through the convenience store. And she's like, oh, right here, just turn here, turn here, turn here. Again, this lady's, I'm gonna call her Gertrude. I'm gonna just call her Gertrude. That's a good name for her. So I told Gertrude, the driver, who was 30 minutes late, don't make a U-turn from the right-hand lane over the left-hand lane into oncoming traffic. Hell no. Turn right into the damn, CVS or whatever. Do that. So she turned right to the side street. She made a right at the side street. And then we had to go through the shop, like a little Dunkin' Donuts coffee shop, to get back to the road. So we're going through the back of the, I guess, the shopping, which is like kind of like a curve, like a driveway to get to the parking lot. So we're going through the driveway, and here comes a dude in like a pickup truck driving 3 billion miles an hour, head on collision level. He was going fast as hell, going the other way through. First off, why are you going fast through a Why are you going fast? Why are you speeding through a damn driveway? Why are you speeding um, through the back of a parking lot? I mean, really, really, that's very unacceptable that you are speeding through a back of a parking lot. That is just horrible. First and foremost. Secondly, I mean, that's just reckless, pure recklessness. Let me go back over here. That's just pure recklessness. I shouldn't have deleted that. With that said, I'm trying to get you guys back on. Sorry about that, because the thing froze. I'm doing, what do you call it? Simulcasting my dream, and somehow it's always freezing. Well, hope you guys can hear me. So I'll just go this way then, because I don't know why simulcasting. Wait this here. Why does it always do that? View, share. One moment, please. Share screen. I can't. I cannot. With that said, okay, please try again. Okay, so I'm gonna just go here. One moment, please. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm trying. Let me see. Go over here. Design captions, cute captions, design music notes, QR code. So yeah, forgive me for that. Captions. Yeah, QR code. Okay, so I'm trying to get the camera back on for the people over here. So let me just go over here for this camera. Integrated webcam. I know that. Okay, so with that said, I'm trying to figure out how to get the camera on you guys for the people on TikTok. I mean, on because I'm streaming this via. Let me see if I can get this back on for them. With that said, of course, it's a blue screen. I don't know why Restream is doing that private chat. Restream should not be, causing such a. Okay, just go. I don't know. Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying about the I don't even know how. Oh, here. You know what? Oh, here you go. Audio only show camera. I can't figure out how to do it. So, yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't figure out how to do that one. With that said, so as I was saying, I don't know how to. It froze on me. Sorry, guys. With that said, yeah, still frozen. But anyway, as I talk to you guys on TikTok and back over here to YouTube and everywhere else, LinkedIn, um, as I was saying that, what was it? Oh, I lost. I was okay, so yeah, the lady Gertrude was trying to go back to where we started, to where our group was started, because she had to start the trip to get paid or whatever. And so we had to, make a right to the side street and go through this driveway to get to the back of a coffee shop, Dunkin' Donut coffee shop parking lot, and exit, turn left at the intersection. And while we're going through the little driveway, which is a very, short, narrow driveway, we're going through there. I don't know how to share it because the thing doesn't want me to share anything. So go figure that one out. Oh, so that's working. Really? But this isn't? Okay. Anyway, as it was, I give up with trying to get the Restream to follow with this. With that said, um, I was, as we were going through the driveway, some dude in a pickup truck was going 400 miles an hour in the speeding through the back of a parking lot. People are walking, animals could be crossing the little parking lot because people could be walking with their kids and their dogs. People could be walking their shopping carts. Homeless people be sleeping there. People could be driving there. Why are you going 400 miles in a parking lot anyway? First off, why are you going 400 miles in a parking lot? Secondly, what the hell? In the middle, on the right, like a sharp little driveway entrance. And he literally is about to hit Gertrude. So he slams on brake. Gertrude slams on brake. And of course, she starts cursing him out, rightfully so. And she said, hit us. Go on and hit us. I need to get paid. And I'm thinking, no, don't hit me. No. But yeah, she's like yelling at him, go on and hit me because I need money since you don't know how to drive. And I'm like, yeah, why are you speeding? And he's like, oh, you're in the middle. No, idiot. So what? It's a driveway. So yes, you're in the middle. And so that's why you shouldn't be speeding because you see how tight it is. We're in the middle and so are you, but we're driving normal. You're going 400 miles an hour. First attempt of accident. First attempt of demonic assault. Idiot driver driving 3 billion miles an hour trying to hit us. Straight up assignment from hell. Thank God the angels intervened and he didn't. And he had to know to have he had to know to have a handicap plaque. Really driving 3 billion miles an hour like that, whatever. That was the first attempt. So then Gertrude goes back, starts to trip up, and then gets on a highway full of traffic. You already have idiots driving aggressively, swerving in and out. It's parking lot, back-to-back traffic. Why are you driving so reckless? Hello? They're driving reckless for no reason. Back-to-back traffic. Really? So that's attempt two. I mean, because just people just driving reckless. But the first one was straight up an attempt. And then we get there and everything. I take care of my appointment. And I meet them back at a coffee shop, convenience store across the street. And the whole time I'm being very cautious. I had to go to the post office. I'm cautiously walking to the post office, cautiously crossing the road because I already know the weird dream. And I already know the first attempt with the stupid idiot driver going 3 billion miles an hour. So I'm very cautiously walking to the post office. Then I cautiously walk to the convenience store. And we get some coffee, whatever. And we get in the car to go to the library where I made some videos yesterday. And now Gertrude's driving with her and her kid again and me. It was me, her, and her kid the whole time, her elementary school daughter. And we're driving to the library. Again, it's still rush hour traffic and we have some roundabouts. If she goes to the first roundabout, fine. And then when we get to the second roundabout, Gertrude obviously forgot that she has to yield to oncoming traffic. So dude's driving full speed here. And here comes Gertrude, slamming on her brakes. Oh, my bad. Yeah, Gertrude, is your bad. Hello. Attempt number 3. Attempt number 1 was an idiot driving 3 million miles an hour in the back of a parking lot. Attempt number 2 is just driving in rush hour traffic anyway. Attempt number 3, Gertrude slamming on brake, just barely missing an accident because they're going full speed ahead, going around the roundabout, and Gertrude's going full speed ahead, about to hit the roundabout, head-to-head collision yet again. Thank you, Gertrude. 2 accidents almost in Gertrude's driving. I don't want to ride Gertrude again, to be honest. Not at all. With that said, Gertrude's piss poor driving. And I really need to tell the manager about that because the first one was not Gertrude's fault, but it still was with her. The second one was Gertrude's fault. And that's just bad anyway. So that's 3 different attempts of driving under the assault of demons between Gertrude, between the idiot driving a pickup truck in the back of a parking lot 100 miles an hour and just driving in rush hour traffic, people swerving in and out like psychopaths in rush hour. So that's the 3 different attempts after I had that crazy dream. And then after that, I got to the library, did, whatever work I was doing. And when it was time to go home, guess what was waiting for me? A bus. It was a paratransit bus. So I'm thinking, oh, wow. 2 attempts with Gertrude driving in a minivan, and now I have the bus. And so we get in the bus, and the driver, is fine, whatever, and we drive. I didn't pay no attention what magical buttons he pushed, but we're driving, and And then like halfway, going to the city, and because it was like 20 minutes from my library from the job to where he had to pick up a second passenger in like downtown. And so in the process, they kept calling him. Dispatch kept calling, ring, 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 ring. I'm like, and so he picked up the phone first time, nothing. Now, mind you, it's loud. The bus is engine on, everything. The AC is on or whatever. So it's not like I can hear anything he's. And plus, they, because of COVID, they have him behind a glass shield, plexiglass shield for safety. So I couldn't hear any conversation. But I heard it ring, 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 and he hangs up. I'm like, okay, whatever. Second time, ring, 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 hangs up. Third time, ring, 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 hangs up. Now, mind you, he's driving the whole time. He's driving down the road, stopping and going trap. It was, of course, at night, so it was no rush hour, but stop lights, red lights everywhere. Then we had to make right hand turns. That's when the phone probably started ringing. Then we get on the highway. You don't be calling me while you're on the highway. You have to merge, and here comes the phone ringing. Hell. So and then he's merging, and then I said, "Wow, they surely got to call you a lot." He said, "Yeah," and I couldn't hear him barely. He's like, "I don't hear nothing. I don't. they're not saying nothing or something." I'm like, "What? They're not saying nothing?" And then they call him a fourth time. This time we're driving. He has to merge, um, from the highway to the next road, to the next highway, and he's merging. And it's like a sharp merge, and so they're ringing. I'm like, "Really? They're calling you again? You're driving, and you're driving on a highway at night. What do they want?" And so I don't think he answered that time because they kept calling. Then they ring again, like it was SOS, red alert, emergency, emergency. I'm like, they're calling you so much. Why don't they just speak you? They got like little speakers. Why don't they talk to you over the speaker? Why don't they say beep beep? Hey, pick up Joe Blow over here. Why don't they use the speakers? Why don't they text you? Why are they calling you while you're driving on a highway at night trying to merge into another highway? What in the hell? What type of safety? I'm one away from awesome. Meg, awesome. You want away from 100,000. Awesome, Meg. Let me give her awesome. OMG, awesome. Sorry. Meg says she's one away. Awesome. Awesome, Meg. Give you a thumbs. Oh, there you go. Enhance. Give you a clap. Sound effects. Where's the yay? Yeah. Yay for Meg. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even see it in you guys' posts. Just got the number one glitter badge. Wow, congrats. Super congrats. I've I apologize. I didn't read a lot of your if you were posting anything. Oh, Tim called. That's good. Oh, that's good he called. I like Apple. I just got I love apples. I like um the what is it? Not, I like gala apples and not red delicious. What is it called? Because I only like that one particular kind, and I get it from Walmart because it's sweet, tart, crunchy, juicy. Oh my god, what is it called? Oh my god, and it's not Granny Smith, it's not Red Delicious, it's not Gala. It's whatever the apple is called. I forgot the name, but it's super delicious, and I love them. So sorry about that. And congrats to the. Oh, that's from them. Thank you, Junior King, for following me. What is the Sigma? What? Yeah, I know, right? Okay. Um, use promote to attract more viewers to your live. Okay. And customize. Oh, what the heck? Um. Anyway, my I to finish up my live. Thank you for the chats and chit chatting, but I don't know why I'm doing that. With that said, let me finish the dream because I have to stick this on the charger. um, with that said, I forgot the I'm trying to think of the apple I love so much, but um, of course my mind went blank along with the benediction of the prayer benediction. Anyway, with that said, where was I at? I was making a point about oh, okay, the driver. So we're merging onto the highway and everything, and they keep calling, ring, 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 and I'm like, for real, don't answer the phone. They're playing on the phone. The phone must be broken. And he would answer it, and he said they didn't say nothing. I said, oh, they're really playing. And he said, oh, it's probably broken. I said, it must be broken because it keeps calling you nonstop. They could text you. They could use a speaker. Boop, boop, boop. Pick up Joe below here. They could use a speaker, the loudspeaker. They could send you a text, or they can actually talk on the phone when it rings instead of playing on the phone, or just stop calling altogether. But if it keeps ringing every 6 seconds, you're trying to okay, I'll call it back. You're trying to drive safely, and I'm trying to not get hit. Basically, thank you, Average Joe, for joining too. I'm trying not to get hit. I'm talking about my dreams, the dream I had. So I mentioned for the people who are just joining, I had like a really crazy dream, and part of it was me in a parking lot, basically four different buses trying to collide with me in the middle. A bus going this way, that way, here, and there. All four buses squishing me in the middle, and I kind of like jumped and teleported like a Mario, and teleported to an office full of the bus management and the bus city bus management, city bus dispatchers looking at me like asking me what's going on. I'm like, oh my god, really? What is this girl doing? And hello, you know what's going on? What happened? And of course, I didn't remember anything, so I don't know why you spent the $10 there. With that said, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. So anyway, so they kept calling him, and every time they called, I'm like, he would answer it. I'm like, did they say anything? And then or he'd be merged. I'm like, don't even answer the phone. We're merging now. What is going on? They're playing. They're playing on the phone. They're wasting your time. What type of stupidness? And I was probably using like foul words and bad words at that point because it's night. We're driving at night on the highway, swerving and merging into lanes. And I'm like tight turns. And at one point we had to exit when we was exiting the highway to go pick up the guy. We exited the highway. We went down the road and we literally had to make a U-turn to merge onto the next road to pick up the guy. And they're calling him while he's trying to make a U-turn. I'm like, are you serious? Really? No, you don't call him while you're about to make a U-turn. No, you don't. And so I said, what in the hell? What's going on? They're gonna actually they're gonna have to wait till you get to the light because this is unacceptable. This is a safety issue here. Why are you calling him while he's turning? What is the problem? And so he didn't answer the phone that time, but they kept calling, ring, 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 like a telemarketer. And so when he gets to the light, I said, call him, because obviously his emergency is SOS, red alert. And so he calls him, and he says he does, I don't know if he's what they said, whatever. And then he hangs up, and he drives some more, and then they call him again. They keep calling. And I'm like, well, call him, when we get to the next line, I said, call him again. Maybe it's an emergency. Maybe they wanted you to pick up the guy on Wolf Road because, maybe they want you to do that. So he calls him again. And I don't know what's going on because I don't really hear them because of the noise of the bus. And then when he hangs up the phone, we drive some more and they start calling him again. I said, oh my God, they must be joking. Is this for real? And so he's like, oh, I think they want to give me directions to where to pick up the guy. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so. because they're calling you that much. It must be some type of horrible, epic emergency. And so we're pulling up, and he finally picks up the guy. I'm like, is this? And he picks up the guy. Then he literally has to get off the bus to fix the seat so the guy could sit down because all the seats were up. So he puts the seat down. So the guy, and while he's getting off the bus, we see like traffic enforcement dude, one of them traffic SUV cars at the red, not the, because red and white is police, so it was yellow and white, like the tow truck colors, yellow and white, and they were like bright yellow and white flashing signs going wrong. They going the wrong way up. They were going the wrong way up a one-way street. The bright yellow and white flashing lights, and I'm like, oh, traffic enforcement, and we basically ignored it because whatever what we have to do, we're not parking, and I know they wouldn't pull us over, and we're already parked. We're just loading dude up. So of course, traffic enforcement passes us going the wrong way up a one-way street, and he puts the seat down, collects dude's money, and gets off. And then next thing you know, when he gets off the bus, he gets back in. The driver said, we see the flashing lights again. I'm like, oh, what's that? And I didn't say nothing because I'm like, oh, they must want to give someone a ticket. I don't know. I know you're not giving a bus driver a ticket. That's the most insane thing. And so he starts he's prepared to leave, and the driver asked me, well, why do you think they wanted me to pick up someone on Wolf Road? I said, because dude gets off um at the same time I get off. So a lot of times they pick me up, then they go pick him up. And then before we even the traffic enforcement man goes knocking on the bus door, and he's like, oh yes. And he's like, oh, is everything okay? And I'm like, and I was about to say the phone is broken, and the driver is saying, oh yeah, we're fine. And he said, yeah, because you pushed the SOS emergency secret button. And I'm like, what? And he says, yes. And it was basically all the buttons were like black normal car buttons. It wasn't no red, like the hazard lights, like that red triangle with the stripes. So you'll know it. But the magical button was normal. You wouldn't know it. I mean, you could easily push it. I mean, I don't know. It was like a regular button, like, a radio button or something, turn the radio volume up or something, or the windshield wiper. It was just a normal button. So, and nothing is around it. And so he's like, what? He said, yeah, you push the button. And when you push the button, everyone, all the dispatchers, all the management, all the bus drivers, and all the buses are alerted along with the police, because basically that's a secret button for, like, when you go to the bank and if someone wants to rob you, to push the magical button to a secret, panic. It's a panic button. And he says, you push the panic button. So all the dispatchers, all the management, all the bus driver, everywhere, everyone was alerted that there's a problem on your bus. All the management, all the dispatchers, and the police. And for every time you pushed up, every time the phone rang, all the speakers start recording, so we can hear absolutely everything you're saying. We can hear you, and they pointed to me and said, we can hear you, Miss Smith. We can hear you saying, this is a joke. Why they keep playing on the phone? They keep playing on the phone. Ignore them. And using foul, and we hear all the curse words and everything. We weren't playing on the phone. We were calling. I said, but y'all didn't say nothing. And they said, no, we didn't say nothing, because if someone is being hostage, we don't want to be like, hey, we're the police. We're calling to see if you need help. Are you a hostage? And the hostage hears you, and then because you got a whole bus of hostages, you got to play it off. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. And then the driver said, yeah, well, I pushed. He said, did you put? He said, I accidentally pushed it, but I didn't know. No one told me it was a panic button. I said, yeah. And he said, oh, well, why isn't it lit up red? I said, yeah, that's a good point. Why isn't it red? He said, because we want to be secret. We want to be discreet. Which is a good point. If someone's hijacking, you don't want to see them pushing the button to get shot. So I said, that's a good point. So they keep it discreet. Obviously, they didn't train them about that. But the fact that all the management and all the dispatchers can hear all of our conversations, you hear me like, wow, I'm like, are you serious? This is dangerous. They're playing on the phone, which is literally corresponding to my dream. Because in my dream, 4 buses about to squish me, and I probably said Jesus or something, and I jumped like a video game character up into a tree, and then I teleported instantly to an office full of local busmen, basically the same management. It's in my dream. I mean, I've never in my life dreamt of the management of the bus company, so that is weird. I've never in my life dreamt of them ever. But it was like manager, like one of the dispatchers, I guess I can say his name is Joe, was in the dream. Skylight, the main dispatcher in the dream, other dispatchers I never really recognized were in the dream. Was a couple of black people I didn't recognize in a dream, including the guy who was telling me what was going on, which could be that guy. Only he wasn't big, though. The guy explaining what was going on was like a heavy set guy in my dream. This guy was just a normal fit black guy or Spanish guy, whatever. But that's so crazy that in my dream, I was dreaming of the management of the CDTA place looking at me like, oh my God, this chick here, really? And what happened? What's going on? And then in real life, um, the driver accidentally pushes the panic button and dispatch calls him continuously nonstop, like I don't know why they kept calling, but I guess they had to, and they was hearing literally every time. I was like, are you serious? Why are they calling? Leave him alone. Stop playing on the phone. Ignore the phone, blah, blah, blah. So they could hear all of our conversations and hearing me kind of like, wow, now like, don't answer it. And so I'm sure they were like, and he even said, yeah, we heard everything you were saying. We heard all your complaining and cursing and telling us not to play on the phone. And they keep playing. Their phone is broken. Their phone has to be, because they kept ringing every 5 seconds. They kept ringing. And then the driver said they weren't saying that. So obviously the phone is broken. Why are you going to call every 5 minutes and not say nothing unless your phone is broken? And so that could be why they were like, oh my God, face palm, Miss Smith, she just keeps. And they literally had to reset the button. And then Tommy, and then it called again. And the driver was, and the lady was like, oh, he's still pushing it, still saying he's sending us a signal. What? And he didn't. And so then they had to literally turn off the bus, turn off all the lights, turn off everything, and restart everything from scratch. You saw the matrix numbers coming across the little dashboard. I'm like, oh, we had to re-enter the matrix, reset the matrix numbers on the pad, and the tablets and stuff. It was quite a fiasco, but that driver safely got me home fine, and the earlier driver safely got me to my group fine. It was just Shaquita, or whatever name, Gertrude, whatever name I gave her, driving where an idiot literally was going 500 miles an hour about to hit us, driving extremely reckless in the back of a parking lot. Are you stupid? He should have been arrested, period. Attempt to my life, one. Number two, on the highway at rush hour, people driving crazy. And number three, Gertrude about to hit someone else head on because she didn't drive. Yeah, I need to tell him. So, and then literally going home, the bus driver accidentally pushes the panic button, causing the dispatch to call him continuously to see if it was an emergency and like, is it a SOS? What's going on? And then after they realize nothing is going on, then and then literally sending. And I even told the traffic enforcer, I said, well, you're going the wrong way up a one-way street. He said, well, I'm like the police. I can go any way I want because if it's an emergency, yeah, I'm gonna go the wrong way. I said, oh, I'm bus CDTA police manager. I'm a manager, so we're like the police. We could go to. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And yeah, we're very discreet because if you're being hijacked, you don't want the hijackers to know. If you're being robbed, you don't want the robbers to know. So, but they said, and I said, why don't you just look at the cameras? He said, well, the cameras aren't live, but the cameras aren't a live feed; they're a little delayed, but the speakers are live. So we kept listening to what was going on and seeing it. And they had to reset everything. So, oh my God, that was like quite an interesting fiasco from my crazy dream of going to the grocery store, seeing kids. I don't know what that has to do with anything. If you could think of it, tell me. To going to a very diverse church with like, I don't know, an African preacher, to going to the prayer time where I forgot everyone, the whole place, including the Nigerian or wherever the Ghanaian ministers or prayer leaders forgot the benediction, to going to send $4 for a fundraiser, but I don't have cash. And the kid's father takes my money, and I get basically ambushed by a bunch of buses about to squish me. And I'm doing a video game Mario Kart jump into a tree and teleport to the office of all the managers and all the dispatchers, asking me what's going on. And then in real life, I had 3 attempts, the idiot driver tried to hit us, and then Gertrude about to hit someone else, and then just driving in rush hour in general, people driving crazy. And then the last ride, the bus driver accidentally pushing the panic button, having people call continuously, hearing me complain and whole conversation, and them probably like, oh my God, face palm, and saying, yeah, we heard you, and all the management, because I never dreamt of them. So that was really crazy. Silly premonition, not an accurate premonition, a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs premonition, but I'm glad I prayed to Jesus for protection because I definitely needed it on Thursday. Anyway, my battery's about to die. I have to charge it. Thank you for joining me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, LinkedIn, TikTok. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to try to join us tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for karaoke, our virtual karaoke and music listening party virtually. I was going to live stream it anyway. That is kind of like, or you could join via Zoom. I'll post the Zoom link somewhere I'll post the Zoom link in the stream thing here. And also join Sundays 10 a.m. I'm sorry, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays for our Church and Prayer Live. You can leave your prayer requests in the chat of Church and Prayer, and they do have God has a listening ear to their prayers. So join us 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Church and Prayer Live on Sunday. Anyway, thank you and good night. Let me stop this one first because where are you?